Hi everyone, this is Suzanne Wagner and welcome to the Intuitive Patterns for the month of March 2020. Before I start this, know that I actually wrote this article, the first week in January 2020. So every once in a while, because of my schedule, my work schedule, I don't have time to get all the articles out to the Catalyst and the different magazines that I go in. And so I will do a whole bunch of articles all at once. So, as everything unfolded with the coronavirus, what was just interesting was that this article, and I remember writing the article and looking at the cards thinking, boy, this is a little heavy, this is a little intense, but sometimes I just go with it. And that's what happened this month is that I went with it, but I went with it in January, kind of even before the coronavirus became a thing completely. So it's going to be interesting. Therefore, the cards this month in the Osho Zen Tarot are the Fool and Beyond Illusions. The medicine cards are Coyote and Badger. The Mayan Oracle is Simi, Maluk, and Unity. The Ancient Egyptian Tarot is the Four of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Princess of Swords. The Aleister Crowley Tarot is the Princess of Wands, the Prince of Swords, and the Four of Swords. In the Healing Earth Tarot, I've got the Four of Feathers, the Five of Feathers, and Strength. And in the Words of Truth, I have Fear, Difference, Psychological Assessment, and Sexuality. So, for some reason, I thought I had done a video on this already, but I hadn't. So I'm doing this on the 6th, so I apologize. But this is the article that I wrote. Without trying to be morbid, this month is about embracing the many faces of death. Sometimes death is a metaphor for something that the ego is holding on to and refusing to let go of. Often, that thing has already outgrown its usefulness, but the process of letting it go can feel like the death to an old identity. Big changes are required this month, and what will precipitate it will not be pleasant. Such deaths can be very painful. Sometimes things are ego deaths, and even ego deaths can be more painful than expected. Deaths are associated with denying something obvious that is a natural process. Such disregard can cause humanity and this world to incur great suffering. Clinging to an idea that is no longer real causes depression and despair. Hope arises and new life begins when you see a problem and begin to anticipate what will be needed to move into a new level of expression and experience. A large, beautiful redwood tree may die and fall over, but it becomes fertile ground for moss to grow, and it softens the ground underneath your feet. So deaths are not necessarily bad, but they are nature demanding change. Burdens can be lifted when you allow the process of death to bring acceptance into the obvious surrender that needs to happen in your manner, behaviors, and being. You will be forced to recognize where you desire control, but perhaps no longer have it. Forgiveness is essential to this metaphorical death that is happening this month. Something has been outgrown that served you well, just like the chrysalis that you grew to protect you while you transformed into a butterfly. But that chrysalis needs to be surrendered and left behind in the joyous expansion of awakening. Such moments cause mourning and a type of celebration. Maluk is the image of an eclipse. In this card, it appears that the sun is swallowing the moon. Such energy can make you feel lost, forgetful, confused, and alarmed. Sleep is disturbed by intense dreams of anxiety. Where in your world are you ignoring the elements of power, which is the sun, and suppressing your deeper feelings, the moon, intuition, and ancient wisdom? Do you hear the cries of humanity? Do you notice what's happening in this world? Do you care about this world's children? I wish awareness would awaken without suffering, but our personal routine, mental beliefs, and habits blind us from the truth that is right in front of us. It often takes huge events that make us awaken to the troubles that eat away at the tenuous stability that is our world. While there are many forms that death can take, in the end, unity emerges as a force of unconditional love that reminds us that we are all human beings. We all live and feel on this planet. We all have that spark of divinity that ignites this body. We are all a part of the mystery that seeks to explain the infinite. In all of our expressions, we are light seeking to understand life. But when fear is denied and the mind is allowed to make up stories that divide and separate, then conflicts arise and all conflicts distort and then magnify into more suffering. There are moments when that suffering cannot be ignored. This month will be one of them. You cannot drink suffering away. You will not be able to escape into some mental illusion. You must resist the forces that tear at the critical balances in life. The fools of this world are of two types: the conscious fools and the unconscious ones. The unconscious fools follow paths that make no sense and have no substance. They have no ability to discern fact from fiction and allow themselves to be used as tools for patterns that tear apart rather than unify. Deep in their core, they have massive amounts of unresolved anger, wounding, and grief, and they cannot see that they project that suffering that was inflicted upon them now out into the world. The conscious fools know that at this time in history, we have to step off the cliff of the old reality and find a new and different way through the present challenges. They see that the old ways clearly are not working and the new ways are in front of us. They know that we must grab this moment because it may not come again. They know that we have to reach out for the elusive potential that is within the grasp of mankind. Once we have a handle to hold, we must not let go. The very life of this planet, as we know it, is at stake. We are in a moment when the only path is forward, and that direction holds no guarantees, but we do have the awareness that the past hold that we have had only forms death. The world seeks some sort of new balance, and that balance will take great strength to manifest in a climate of chaos, turmoil, fear, illness, and hate. Watch for those tricksters in life. Notice where you fall into your own traps. Foolishness creates folly. Notice those that stink, but try to make you believe that they are a rose. This month, it becomes clear that certain things are going to cause great suffering, and many things are not going to be funny. Be prepared for the many deceptions coming your way. Make sure that you are prepared. There are those that take aggressive action to attempt to push you into old fears and places where you have become lost and confused. In that moment, humanity will have no choice but to push back. We will have to fight for the truth. This is a month where you will have to use unconventional means to persist in incurring what is ailing you and your world. Complaining and whining will get any of us nowhere. Expect a global event to ignite in anger as false realities come crumbling down. Expect people to be fuming at feeling helpless, unsupported, lied to, and misdirected. Regardless, this month will show aggressive actions of some kind coming at you and your family. Healing sometimes needs aggressive action to save lives. Raging infections need the heat of fire to burn away the infection threatening the life that it is attached to. This month, that journey towards healing will require a type of courage and bravery that has never been asked of you. You will have to be willing to do what is necessary. This is no longer just about you, but this world in which we live. So, thanks everybody. I hope this has some sort of insight and help. I find, reading it again after after 2 months, 3 months of not reading it, I just kind of go, oh boy, it's like we have a lot in front of us. We have a lot of big changes in front of us, a lot of global changes. And I've tried to say over and over again to people that, starting on January 12th, 2020, we were going to go into a cascading breakdown of systems and structures. And you can see it. I mean, you can see it on all levels between, the coronavirus stuff and the lack of appropriate response to the global situations that are happening in the world, and the conflicts that are happening, as we create a peace treaty with the Taliban only for them to blow it up and then for us to blow them up the very next day. So, just kind of know that there's so much chaos going on in the world, and unfortunately it is going to impact global systems, governments, finances, banking systems, and the stock market. So my suggestion is to protect yourself, make really smart choices related to the stock market, be very safe, very secure, very stable, no risk. Take yourself out of all the risk factors. I always say to people, just humor me for a few months, because we're building towards a lot of very intense astrology in the summer, especially May, June, July, August, because we're getting a whole bunch of planets, like everything is going retrograde. And all those retrogrades make everything not function properly and not work well. And so expect a lot of distortion related to the election. Expect, a lot of rhetoric and a lot of lies to happen. And so you have to stay really calm, and you have to stay really true to what is important to you and what is your priorities as we move forward, because there's just so much distortion, and it's very hard to know. It's very hard to know what's real and what's not real. And that's why you have to be really connected to your core and your heart. And to me, whenever you're in doubt, all you have to do is ask the question, does this open love? That's it. That's all you have to ask. If it does not open love, don't do it. If it causes harm to another, don't do it. If it causes more separation and anxiety, don't do it. The over and over again, it's about coming into the place of, like, we have to make choices that serve everyone and everything, not just yourself. We're so beyond the place where it's about ego. I mean, we can't even go there. I mean, it's like, it can't be about what you want anymore. It can't be about your own ego. It has to be about, what are you doing right now, today, that helps another person, that helps a dog, that helps a tree, that helps the planet. Like, what can you do right now? And you need to start doing those things consistently, like a habit, a new routine. So my routine is that I plant redwood trees, baby redwood trees, on my property. My plan is that I go out and water them every couple of days and talk to them. My plan is that I feed my birds that I'm watching right now, that come in, and the banded pigeons that are really struggling, and a lot of the banded pigeons are dying. And so, as obnoxious as banded pigeons are, I'm feeding the banded pigeons. And so what is it that you can do right now that makes a difference in the world? Where can you put money and donate that helps a living creature not suffer as much? Because there's a lot of suffering going on right now. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning into this channel. Sorry, it's a little bit of a heavy month and we're just at the beginning. But I hope for the best for everyone. Protect yourself, take care of yourself, take care of those you love, pay attention, stay alert, be fully present, and only do what is loving in your heart. Thanks.